Hello everybody, it's Jared, the non-alcoholic aficionado here with a really special video. We've got Ryan, a local Minnesota NA beer influencer, and we've got some sweet beverages to test out today. So let's get started. I think we're going to, should we start off with the sampler?
Yeah, let's go for it.
I'll put these aside and we'll get started. Which one do you want to start with?
Let's go with the Session. Organic Session IPA, sober Carpenter. If you have a Total Wine across the street like Jared does, you can go there and pick up a sampler. Sober Carpenter's what, from Quebec, I think?
Yep. And they've got really sweet cans. I like it. They say the malt types, the hops. They have a little tagline about their beer and the style. They mention the IBU and the calories, protein, fat, carbs. And like I said, I really like their logos. So here we go. This is the Organic Session IPA. Put it back here. Cheers.
Cheers.
How does it smell?
It smells like an IPA.
Yeah, I would agree. You can
Actually reminds me of, I'm not gonna lie, it actually reminds me of athletic socks, my kid's lacrosse bag. Not kidding.
a little skunky.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try it. I had this over the weekend and I was describing it to my girlfriend. She doesn't really like beer. Said it almost has like a buttery finish. And I was like, you have to try it. She doesn't like beer, but she was like, I like that.
I mean, I'm not an IPA guy. So then when I was drinking regular beer, I thought IPAs were kind of gross, too bitter for my taste back then. Now that I've had a lot more IPAs that were non-alcoholic, I get to actually like think about the flavor, think about what they're trying to do instead of how high their alcohol content is.
True.
But you know, I mean, hazy, it's not super hazy, it's a little hazy. It's got a good carbonation, but if you like IPAs, then you'll like this because it's not, I mean, it's a good IPA. But personally, I'd be like, I hope someone else likes it.
Yeah. I loved IPAs when I did drink regular alcoholic beverages. And if this one brings me back to the kind of the hoppy character and a strong flavor profile that, you know, an IPA would have. And it's all good memories for me. So I really enjoy it.
It's not a total bitter finish though.
Exactly. That's kind of the how I was describing it. It's like smooth. It finishes off very smooth. There's not like a hoppy aftertaste or anything or super bitter.
You know, I mean,
what does it say here?
they do well, that's for sure. It's not bad.
Yeah.
You know?
30 IBUs. The hops is Galaxy hops. The malt is Pale Crystal and Cara or Sarah. I don't know which one that is.
I think it's Cara.
Cara. And then we've got 80 calories.
Do you want me to rinse these out or should we just forget
Let's just
it?
go for it. It's
Okay.
fine. I'm not too worried about it.
So do you know what the IBU stands for? IBU is International
Bitterness Unit.
Bitterness, yep. So the lower the IBU, the less bitter, the more higher, the more bitter, basically. The other one was 30, this one is 42.
And this is the standard IPA,
This
kind
is
of a West Coast style.
IPA, yep. Floral West Coast style.
So this one should be a bit more bitter.
Yep, West
The
Coast,
Session.
West Coast bitter, East Coast juicy.
Okay.
That's my understanding anyway.
And before we get into this one, tell us a little bit about your background, Ryan.
As far as why I'm here,
No, well, we can go into other conversation starters, but Zero Proof. Kind of curious about the
yes, Zero
your
Proof
experience.
Zero Proof Beverage House. Here, let's toast to Zero Proof. Come check us out.
Toast.
I think this is going to be a good one.
Yeah,
It's good to have this one after that other one because you can see how they cranked up the bitterness a little bit.
definitely.
Zero Proof Beverage House. We have a place in Minneapolis and a place in St. Paul. It's a non-alcoholic bottle shop. We've got NA beers, functional beverages, Zero Proof spirits, and other
Wines.
other infused type things. We do have NA wine and wine type mimic thing. It's so hard to describe wine things. Like we have non-alcoholized wine, but then we have things that are like wine but not wine, but are similar to wine that you would use in place of wine. So anyway, it's a nerd's paradise, basically. Yeah, it's kind of cool because people come in, they're like, I didn't know there were so many options. We're like, this isn't even half of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been there twice and didn't know what I was getting myself into because I hadn't really started my non-alcoholic beverage journey and trying different things. And I've been meaning to get back to like really just grab a bunch of one-off cans and just taste test them all, which is what I like about it because you guys do have the chiller with individual cans, right?
There's cooler with individual cold cans. I think we're gonna get more coolers so we can have more cold individual cans and actual 6-packs in there. Because beer works best if it's kept on in a fridge. You know? So
for sure.
Yeah, but then the people who own it, they're helping me get more beer in from other places. We're gonna have what's that beer called? I can't even think of the name right now. It's another one from Quebec. One for the Road.
Oh, I don't know.
I think it's called One for the Road. And then we're getting more Mash Gang because of...
It's UK, right?
Yeah, because of the bottle shop, Bendition, I think it's called, in Chicago. We're connecting with them, and they've got some type of situation where they're receiving the shipments from England and distributing it that way out of their online. I don't know. There's a lot of tying up loose ends to get Mash Gang here, but it's happening, and we've had some Mash Gang, and we're getting more, so yeah, it's pretty exciting. It's a beer nerd's paradise, basically.
Very cool.
There's nothing worse than a beer nerd than an NA beer nerd. Cheers.
Cheers. Before I stopped drinking, craft beer was my thing. It was right at the time when Minnesota's craft beer scene was kicking off with the local tap rooms, and it was like
2009, I'd say.
I was still young. I got into it in like 2011, 2012.
Okay. Because that's when, I think 2009 is when there was like a certain bill passed. I think it was the Surly bill, maybe.
Okay.
That had to do with the explosion of breweries in the state. So.
Yeah. No, and I was a senior in college, and my roommates and I were like, let's try a bunch of different beers this year.
I can't even finish it.
Can't finish it?
Should I? Should I just slam it?
I don't know. It's your choice. Too hoppy?
I mean,
too bitter.
It's not, just it's for my flavor profile. People don't like Guinness, and I'm like, this stuff is so good, and I can just drink Guinness after Guinness after Guinness.
There's a lot going on with this one.
No, I mean, it's an IPA, and there's no doubt that, like, if I was drinking...
It doesn't taste non-alcoholic, though, to me.
Ooh, it's just so strong. I mean, it's not even, in 42 isn't even that high.
So anyways, I was in college. We the summer going into it, we had a couple different 6-packs, and I was like, we should keep these boxes because it could be fun to have like a diary of the stuff we tried. Well, a year later, we had 135 different 6-pack boxes that we drank.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot.
College.
We didn't think anything of it. We were like, so we took the boxes, we cut off the bottom, we tacked them to the wall like a wall border, and we filled the entire apartment full. It was fun. And this is before Total Wine and like big distribution areas. We just went to the local university's liquor store.
That'll sound really good.
This one is the special limited release one. I'm excited for this.
Black IPA. I'm a stout guy.
So is this going to be closer to what you prefer?
This is going to get a little closer because there's going to be a little more roast, a little more malt flavor.
That's a big head.
They say if you let it do this, it'll release more of the oils and more of the flavors. I mean, you can talk to many different people, and some will argue that that's not true. It'll release too much carbonation, they say. But other people say, well, the oils are released when the bubbles are formed.
Yeah.
And then you get a better flavor closer to what they're looking for. I don't know. It smells
Have you tried this
roasty. I've never had this one.
Never?
No.
So
Nope.
me either.
I'm excited.
Do we let it settle?
I think a little bit.
Okay.
There's only another black IPA that I'm familiar with. It's BREWS, and they had a black IPA that they just released online a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
But I haven't had it. I didn't buy it yet. BREWS and I have a complicated relationship.
It smells super malty.
Mm-hmm.
And this one has malts are two-row, Carafa 2, chocolate, and dextrin. And then the hops is Amarillo, Magnum, and Mosaic. And again, 80 calories. Do these all?
Does it have an IBU number?
IBU 34.
So it's going to be between those.
Yeah, which makes sense.
Okay, well, here we go. I think it smells good.
I do too. Oh. I taste, there's a little bit of like an aftertaste.
I like it. I can hardly even identify that it's an IPA though after having had those.
That's a valid point.
But
I think the aftertaste I'm getting is the lack of bitterness that we just experienced. It's not bitter at all. That's really good.
mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's
I like it a lot.
It's almost like it's obviously not a stout, but it's like a
porter?
stout beer without being too stouty.
Yeah.
And it's not porter because porter seems to have even more of that bitter finish.
Okay.
I think it has more strong flavor. This is like
It's like a stout IPA hybrid.
well, I mean, technically yes, but it's almost like I would give this to a person who doesn't like dark beer.
Sure. Yeah.
Or IPAs.
A little bit of both.
Yeah, if you don't like
It's
either
a
of
beer
these.
for everybody then.
Yeah. It actually kind of is. It's kind of like a Newcastle in the way that everyone kind of liked Newcastle. Because it was dark but not too dark.
Yeah.
Had flavor but it wasn't too flavorful. Did you ever have O'Doul's Amber yet?
I haven't tried O'Doul's. No.
Okay. I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah, I don't know if I've talked about it too much on the channel yet, but I stopped drinking about 4 years ago, and I hadn't really tried many non-alcoholic options until like 6 months ago. I've tried mocktails, but mocktails are just like carbonated juice beverages with different things you can add in.
Maybe we'll have another episode about a mocktail and
I'd love that.
conversation and names.
Yes.
There are people that are like, I love mocktails, and other people are like, I hate the word mocktail.
Yeah.
I love it. And so, yeah, anyway, sorry to interrupt on that.
It's okay. But beer-wise, like I said, we tried a ton of beer in college. I've always liked craft beer, go to tastings, tap rooms, all that fun stuff when I was still drinking.
I was going to say this doesn't have much carbonation. I think we should have maybe not poured it out all the way. That's my bad. Next time I would try it just slamming it from the can.
Yeah.
That might be good.
So the craft beer scene became like non-existent for me when I stopped drinking because I didn't know that non-alcoholic beer was really that big of a thing. And I also didn't realize that the 0.5% trace alcohol level is never going to be a problem unless you have like 20 of them. What's your take on that?
That's a really interesting topic.
Yeah.
Some people say that liver will metabolize the 0.5 ABV or less before it even gets to your bloodstream.
Okay.
So
blood alcohol level wouldn't really ever be a thing.
I mean, I think that's the case. And like you said, if you drink 10 or 15 of them back to back, then it might cause some type of blip on the radar.
Sure.
But you can eat a bunch of overripe bananas and apple juice and hamburger buns, and those all have ABV. They all have actual alcohol in them. So it's a personal journey. I didn't drink NA beer until 10 years after I quit drinking regular beer. Because in a certain program I was in, they said, if you're thirsty, drink iced tea. Don't waste your time drinking non-alcoholic beer, because they didn't want a person to get triggered by, this.
It looks like
this
a can of
motion.
beer.
The motion of like. I personally didn't have a problem with cracking open a can and then drinking. I had a problem with doing stuff after that. And since there's no alcohol in this, I don't have a problem getting in my car or making a phone call or being on the job even. See, I used to work and live in Wisconsin, and their rule was 2-drink maximum on lunch, your lunch break. They're like, you could have a 2-drink max on your lunch break.
Wow.
At a bank. I worked at a bank in Wisconsin, and the president of the bank said you have a 2-drink maximum on your lunch break. Anyway, all I'm saying is I could go back to work after having some NA beer and then make good decisions and drive my car if I had to, drive my car. That's the most important thing. I've got kids, and if something happens and I need to hurry up and jump in the car, I can't be wishing I didn't just drink that like bourbon barrel stout, know.
For sure. That 10-12% bourbon barrel stout. That's
See, this was good. We slammed it and we hardly even knew it.
That was a good beer. I really enjoyed that. I don't think they're gonna make it in 6-packs though, are they? It's limited release.
It is limited, and did they only do it in the sampler?
The only way I saw it in the store was with a 6-pack of the 16-ounce cans, 2 of each.
This isn't the first time I've seen it though, so maybe it is only during the holiday season or whatever. But yeah, hey, Sober Carpenter, you should make this one a full time.
I think we're plugging it quite heavily. It's a good one. Like you said, it's good for people that don't like heavy stouts, and it's good for people that don't like IPAs. Right. It's great in that middle ground.
Yeah, I'm impressed.
So, yeah, I usually give a rating for each beer on my 1 to 10 scale. I'm gonna wing it right now and give this one a solid 9. The limited edition. The IPA isn't my favorite. I like the Session better than the IPA. Session gets a 8.5 and the IPA gets an 8. So all very good. I've made comparisons to other NA alcoholic or NA like IPAs I've tried that try to be like have the bite and have the flavor and have the hoppy profile, and these are like top notch. I would say they're really good.
Absolutely.
I know it's not your style, but
no, but I've had a lot of IPAs over time now, NA IPAs, because just I know that it's craft. And I know that you can make it taste like, you can make things kind of do this or that. Like Athletic has had a whole bunch of good IPAs. There was that blueberry, what was it called? Blueberry Mosaic. That thing was awesome. There's a cacao, what is it? Citrus cacao.
Yep.
That is really good. They had a coconut one not too long ago. That was amazing. So yeah, they're doing things with the IPAs that people just don't do, even almost in
creativity.
Yeah, even in regular beer, they're still hitting all the notes now.
Yeah.
Coconut, something coconut dark, that would be good. So.
Well, should we take it to the next step?
Let's do it.
If you haven't already subscribed, please do, so we can grow the channel and spread some awareness for NA beverage consumption. We're both here, very passionate about the space and hoping to let people know what's out there.